Oh yes, welcome back to Exhaust Sports Auto. My name is Kevin and we are here to check out one of my most favorite big body saloons, the 2017 Lexus LS 460. So, why am I checking out this vehicle? Like I said, I just like it, all right? I already did a review on the 2013 LS 460 and I was very fond of that vehicle. I actually even compared a 2014 LS 460 to the 2015 Mercedes S550, okay, the sedan. And honestly, there was a lot of things I really appreciated and liked about driving this 460 model because I like the eagerness of it off the line and I like just the overall dynamics of the chassis as well. So I'm here to experience that one more time. And of course, this is the 2017 model year, so it's kind of like the last model year. It's the newest LS that you can get with a V8 in it, that 4.6 liter V8 engine, of course. And that motor, of course, produces 386 horsepower and about 367 pounds-feet of torque. Doesn't sound like a lot, especially in today's era, I suppose, of vehicles. But let me tell you this, I still really love the way that this thing pulls. The sensation of the way it pulls is amazing, as well as the way it sounds. And it weighs about 4,300 pounds. Not bad. That's mainly because this is the regular V8 with the rear-wheel drive. All-wheel drive will add a little bit more weight to it. But who do we have to thank for this opportunity? It is none other than Johnson Lexus in Durham, North Carolina. So I'm going to leave all of Danny's information down in the description box below. So if you want this pristine 2017 LS 460 with 55,000 miles, certified pre-owned, well, it's all yours, baby, as well as a slew of other automobiles that you can peruse on their website. So let's go ahead, let's get this thing out on the road, and I guess first of all, let's talk about the looks with this vehicle, because this is also 2013 is when the vehicle got redesigned to look like this, and me personally, I like it, man. This thing is quite the impressive vehicle to behold out on the road. It has good presence to it because I like the spindle grille. You know, I like a big grille. I'm not gonna lie to you. You know, I love that. It makes a great presence out on the road. And you know what's also impressive about the way this thing looks? This thing has a coefficient of drag of 0.26. Dude, this thing is like a little torpedo out on the road. I mean, it is so impressive the way that this thing, you know, forgive me, this brake pedal is making a small squeaky noise. I don't know what that is, but whatever. At least it works. That's all that matters. But anyway, so drag coefficient, all that stuff, that is really something that Lexus takes into consideration with these vehicles. But enough of that. You let me know in the comment section how you like the way this thing looks. I'm just really impressed with that coefficient of drag mostly. But, you know, I'm about to, you know, bust a move here, you know, take this out on the highway, you know, see how all this stuff handles. So some of the major changes, there was really only two that took place, okay, and that was in the 2016 model year. The 2017 is just a carryover from 2016, but the main things that changed in 2016 was the addition of body adhesives, okay? So it makes the body a little bit more rigid, basically, and I'm assuming it'll make it a little bit quieter as well. We'll test all that out in a little bit. I've only driven the 2013 and 2014 LS 460s, and I really like the way that those vehicles handled. This is effortless off the line. I know that didn't seem like much on camera, but that was a good speed. We're about to do an even better speed in a little bit. Effortless thrust, and I even like the way that these vehicles handled. I mean, for 2016 and up, they're saying that it handles even better. That's great, but, you know, still a little bit of roll with this thing. That's to be expected for a vehicle of this size, and that's fine. Taking over some of these rougher bumps here. This particular vehicle does not have the air suspension, nor does it need it. And I think this is a good thing. This is a good model to kind of purchase and keep for the long term. This thing is flying for sure. However, I will say an insane amount of wind noise though with this vehicle. That's one of the most annoying things with these Lexus products. You know, they tout all this, you know, drag coefficient stuff, yet there's this insane amount of like whistling effect coming from the driver's side window here, which is annoying. Let me know in the comment section what all that is about. Please do let me know, because that's the only drawback that I noticed with these LS products. It was prevalent in the previous generation LS as well, and that was a vehicle that I personally owned. But aside from that, this generation, 2013 to 2017, is far superior to the previous generation LSs. That's for sure. But do I notice this handling or driving better than the 2013 LS 460? No, I don't. I'm loving the engine though. That's the best thing about this particular vehicle. And I actually have driven all of the LS 500s, okay, F Sport, Hybrid, regular one, all of it. And the LS 500 is said to be the best handling LS, okay, supposedly, according to Lexus. And I believe it. The GAL platform is very impressive. However, here's the thing. The suspension is a little bit weird on the LS 500. The F Sport is my most favorite version of the Lexus LS's, but you know, that's kind of ridiculous to say. I would rather have a regular LS, of course. Man, speed is something that nobody could complain about with these vehicles, that's for sure. We can even put into the sport mode here, actually. No Sport Plus with this particular model, but an F Sport model was available with this vehicle. I've not tried an F Sport version of these LS 460s, but I feel like it would be amazing. That would be like the perfect LS. But they're very hard to find, so that's, you know, it's almost impossible. But I don't need to go up to an F Sport of this particular generation to enjoy driving it. I like the eagerness and the liveliness of this chassis and this motor just the way it is. I don't need an F Sport. But with the LS 500, I do need to go up to the F Sport trim, because that's the only model where the suspension is tuned properly to feel more normal. But I like the steering weight of this thing. It's perfect. And like I mentioned before, this vehicle does not have the air suspension on it. So not only does it reduce the complexity, but also it doesn't need it, because this thing is riding beautifully, and I have a lot of confidence in the chassis and in the suspension. But the body adhesive stuff that they throw on here is not really, you know, doing much of anything. It still behaves and drives identical to the 2013 car. But I'm just saying, this car is so serene and relaxed that you can be doing 10, 15 over the speed limit, not even know it. You know, it's a traditional trait with these Lexus cars. But this engine, right? This engine is so freaking buttery smooth. Smoothness-wise, it is definitely superior to the LS 500, even though the LS 500 is technically faster on paper. The sensation of speed, again, is great with this 4.6 liter. It's so much better than what the numbers suggest. I even prefer this engine to that twin-turbo V8 found in the S550. That thing produced like over 500 pounds-feet of torque. Yet I prefer the way the shove comes on in this 460. Okay, so that's a big thing that I really like. And busting this tight turn here, still lots of roll with this chassis. You know, it's a very heavy vehicle, can't really get away from that. But you feel like, you know, it's so nimble. You know, you can just whip this car around so effortlessly. It's one of the, it almost has like a BMW level of agility to it, yet it has like this layer of butter on top of it, just so much smoother. Like the steering, the suspension, this engine, I love it, man. It's a combination I really love. My biggest drawback with this car is this freaking wind noise, man. It's just so strange and bizarre that this vehicle continues to have it even in this 2017 model year. Very strange. Some people are saying that, you know, just replace that flap or whatever near the side view mirror. That's bullshit. That's not going to fix anything. This is just something with the glass. It feels like it's not closed properly or something. I don't know. I mainly hear it coming from this driver's side, so something to look into. I mean, if you have some proper information on that, please do leave it below in the comment section. You know, the forum people, they love to blow me up on the forums when I get one little thing wrong in these reviews. How about you actually do something and contribute some legitimate information for once? How about that? But reliability-wise, I'm sure the drivetrain is going to be solid. This 8-speed transmission. Here's the thing, okay, before I talk about reliability, everything about this vehicle compared to the previous generation 460 has been improved. Like the engine delivery got improved. It's the same engine, it's pretty much carried over. And this 8-speed transmission, it's been tuned to be far smoother and far more eager to react. Like, you don't have to be in the sport mode like I am now for it to react better. Like, this is doing a great job. Loving this 8-speed. Far superior than what the previous generation performance was. It rides better, the steering smoother, you know, just a lot of things about this particular vehicle it's just superior in every way compared to that older vehicle. So, but you had to pay up for it though. This car costs a lot more money in the used car market, of course, because it's newer, obviously. This being rear-wheel drive, you know, if you want to have some fun with it, you know, turn off that traction control. I'm sure you can bust some big boy donuts in this thing, and even slide it if you wanted to. but such an extended wheelbase vehicle. It's not the L model, this one isn't, but it's such a large vehicle that, you know, it might be a little bit hard to unsettle the rear end, but, you know, we'll see, you know, whatever. It's not that important. But anyway, I was mentioning reliability. Obviously, control arms are a big deal. I think that's still an issue with these vehicles. I'm not sure, but it's a big, heavy car, so it might still be. Brake actuator, that's a big one. Brake actuator was like $3,000-$4,000 on the previous car. Some people were saying that they downloaded the thing from eBay and they replaced it for like $1,000 on their own. Whatever, good for you. But me, I was not going to screw with that thing. That's a very expensive part to replace. So the best thing I can suggest to you if you want this car is buy it, but buy it with the warranty or buy it certified pre-owned like this particular vehicle, okay? And this is relatively low mileage for what this is, you know, 55,000 miles. It's not too bad for an LS. And obviously, Lexus build quality. This is so freaking solid, right? There is no creaks and rattles with this car. That's to be expected. And another thing, this car doesn't have like this rolly effect, basically, this roly-poly effect. It's actually a very kind of, not planted, but it's just like it feels firm but soft at the same time. It's a good feel that this car has. It's exuding the exact attributes I want out of a big body sedan. It's isolating out all the little bumps in this vehicle, so that's a great thing. And brakes do a great job. Turn-in is pretty good for what it is. It's just so satisfying driving this car. I really like this car a lot. I will say a Genesis G90 is more impressive than this vehicle in every single regard. Okay, speed, maybe agility, but most importantly, quietness. However, nobody wants to hear that. Nobody wants a Genesis G90. Nobody cares about that car. Nobody respects that car, and you don't want to hear about it. So forget I even mentioned it. Summing everything up, most importantly, you're looking at this because it is a proven drivetrain. You know, even after the certified pre-owned warranty runs out, you can still continue to own this thing, and that's the beautiful part about it. Because after you get those major things kind of replaced on this vehicle, you're good to go, basically. I mean, this is such a great freaking bankful car, and with this engine, honestly, this is going to hold its value for a little bit longer, I feel like, because they're done with V8s. Lexus is not really going to be making any more V8s, so this is going to be one of those few cars, okay, naturally aspirated V8 that it's just not going to be replicated anymore. And like I mentioned, the Genesis G90, that's the only other car you can get with a naturally aspirated V8 in it. So something to keep in mind. No, they're not going to put the LC V8 in this or whatever in the next LS. That's never going to happen. So this is a great choice right here. This is something that even I lusted after in the used car market. So let me know if you're an owner of this vehicle, how you feel about it, and how do you feel about that wind noise? Do you have a solution to it? I mean, like a real one, or is it just something that you had to live with? You know, let me know in the comment section. But let's go ahead and let's briefly talk about this interior. The only real thing that's changed here is the infotainment. And the infotainment, it's still, I don't mind using this infotainment because I don't care about infotainments, but the only annoyance that I found with this infotainment is just like, if you want to make a precise maneuver, it can be a little bit annoying. Like you could jump over like 2 menus over when you don't want to. So that's the only thing, but they've improved the precision on this a little bit. But again, I don't mind it. This 12.3-inch display, I believe it is, it gets the job done, and fortunately your climate control is separated from it. And even though this is not like a fully loaded model, in fact this is more of a base model LS 460, you still got heated and cooled seats that came standard for that generation, okay, or this generation of car. So that's something to keep in mind. You got a heated steering wheel on this particular vehicle, blind spot monitoring, parking sensors, rear cross traffic alerts. You got all that stuff here. And memory seats, of course, one touch up and down windows, double pane glass like I mentioned. You got this white interior, super comfortable seats, this very special wood. It's one of the best woodworks I've ever seen in a vehicle, and I've seen the process. You know, everybody has a process, of course. You know, it's the Shihatsu wood or whatever the hell it's called. It's impressive. It's one of the nicest wood trimmings I've ever seen in a vehicle. So I love the Lexus woods. I think it's superior to what Mercedes does, and I just love the solidity of this cabin space. That's the most important thing. This thing's been sitting outside a little bit, so a few of the panels do kind of move a little bit, but it's not bad as a whole. It's a very impressive kind of cabin space for solidity. Again, nothing is creaking and rattling. This particular vehicle does not have the Mark Levinson, okay? Mark Levinson is a 19-speaker system with about 450 watts. This is the base 10-speaker. I don't mind this base 10-speaker. I had this exact same unit in my previous LS 460, and I don't mind the way it sounds. It's pretty good, and I believe you do have Bluetooth connectivity, all the important stuff here, so that's good. Obviously, no Apple CarPlay, Android Auto. That's to be expected. But connect your Bluetooth and you'll be good to go. We got a very simple gauge cluster design here, of course. Got a few buttons on the steering wheel. Practicality is pretty good as well. Good amount of space, as well as USB connectivity inside of the center armrest, and I like how it's soft closing. No panoramic sunroof, just a regular sunroof here. Good space in the glove box, and I like how this door pocket actually kind of opens up a little bit, so that's nice. But yeah, being a more basic vehicle, also you got automatic headlights, of course, but also being a basic model of this car, it's gonna have less complexity in it, so less electronics to go wrong with in the long run. So after the certified pre-owned warranty runs out, if you don't want to extend that warranty, you can just keep it and just risk it, basically. I mean, it's not a whole lot of stuff really to go wrong here, so that's great. And let's talk about the rear seats. Again, this is not like the executive package, doesn't have all the insane features on it or anything like that, but you got good leg room back there, even with the standard wheelbase. You got your own HVAC back there, all that good stuff. You can move. You have two buttons here to move this passenger seat a little bit forward to give yourself a little bit more leg room back there. So nice little touches there. Of course, you got a massive trunk too. So what's the overall conclusions of this thing? It's perfect in every way aside from this wind noise. I really enjoy driving this car. This level of smoothness that they just baked in, along with the agility and the eagerness of the chassis, the engine, the transmission, it's just so enjoyable. You just feel like a pimp whipping this thing around. It's one of my most favorite big body vehicles out there. So if you can't stomach to own a Genesis G90, this is a good choice. See if there's something you can do by, removing these panels and seeing if you can reduce that wind noise. This will be like perfection, man. This thing is like driving around in a brick of butter, man. It's so good. So that's great. You have very nice interior space. I think this is going to age extremely well. It's a very timeless interior cabin. I like the clock. I like the wood. I like the leather. This white leather, it's aged extremely well. Lexus leather typically ages perfectly, so I love that. So again, one more time, I'll leave all of Johnson Lexus Durham and Danny's information down in the description box. If you want to purchase a vehicle, you can even get $200 off. You mention my name. No, I don't get anything out of it, but just a discount for you. And if you're an owner, again, leave your thoughts, leave your opinions down in the comment section below, and let me know if you're still enjoying the vehicle. I feel like this is one of the vehicles that you can enjoy for the long run, 10 plus years. So enjoy the vid. The next video, the next review will be posted on this end screen here. I'll see you guys there. Take care and goodbye.